No, liberals are not deceived. They are delusional. And that is a very important distinction to make in the case of individuals like Adam Conover here. And when I say delusional, I mean so in the most literal psychological sense imaginable, as in a persistent, false, psychotic belief regarding the self or persons or objects outside the self that is maintained despite indisputable evidence to the contrary. That's what I mean when I say delusional. And it is used either A, as a deliberate artifice to muddy the waters and continue to maintain a position that is politically expedient, even in the face of indisputable evidence, or alternatively, it is the sign of genuine, actual, unironic brainwashing that has become all too common on the modern-day progressive left. So, all of this surrounds a clip posted by the Timcast News Network here, as we have an interview where Tim Pool has a conversation, I don't know if that word really applies here, but where he talks at, more correctly, Adam Conover here, who is some sort of television individual. I wouldn't know because I haven't watched television in like 10 years, but I'll take his word for it. When the clip popped up, I responded thusly: the liberals are not the ones deceived here. This man is lying, he knows that he is lying, and he knows that Tim will apologize to him if he keeps lying. Tim is the one deceived here, and after nearly a decade, Tim has not yet caught on to that fact. Now, a lot of people viewed this as me taking a bit of a shot at Tim Pool, and I guess indirectly I am, though I want to say immediately, Tim was not at all being soft on this guy throughout the lengthier interview. In fact, he was hammering him quite relentlessly throughout it, going, no, your reality isn't real. You live in a world that is not reality. I can show you reality, I can demonstrate it to you, I can bring it up on screen, as in the case of the Very Fine People hoax, and even show you your own people going, no, this isn't true, and Adam's only reaction is, I just don't understand what you're telling me, Tim. You're some kind of crazy person, aren't you? That in fact succinctly sums up the entire conversation, in fact. And yes, that is the error on that Tim is committing here. He is assuming good faith. He is entering into this discussion on the basis that his opposition will be able to understand reality, and that he can be talked into understanding reality, but of course, if the opposition is delusional, they cannot, as they will cling to their delusion in the face of any and all evidence, no matter how overwhelming. And this has become the standard of the left wing these days. And the fact that this hasn't been fully recognized is a little disturbing. So let's have a little bit of a look at this clip, shall we? And it'll very swiftly demonstrate the points I've been talking about here.
Bro, Donald Trump dumped food into a fish pond after Shinzo Abe did. Why are you trying to make that a negative story?
Know what that
it was like it's all of these hoaxes.
Okay, so that's the Shinzo Abe thing. So Trump was visiting Japan, and they were feeding koi fish, and Trump emptied out of the feeding bowl all into the koi fish pond. The media was like, he's killing the koi fish, he's gonna kill them all, they can't eat that much. This was after Shinzo Abe, the president of Japan, did the same thing. And Adam says, I don't know what this is all about. I have no idea. Remember that, because we're going to be seeing it a lot. So Tim moves on to a more pertinent point, something more obvious and universal, right?
Hoax.
I mean, I remember the line. Yeah,
Trump never called Nazis fine people.
He said there were very fine people on both sides,
except the neo-Nazis and white nationalists, who should be condemned totally.
He said that.
Holy shit!
This is perfectly illustrative of the larger interview as well, by the way. Tim just going, what's wrong with you? And Adam just ignoring it entirely. And this, by the way, this is the important part right here. So let's look at Adam's reaction when he's delivered the evidence.
Brother,
I don't live in your bubble, man.
You don't live in the fucking news, dude. Come the fuck on. You don't read the fucking news. This is what fucking blows my mind.
No, I just don't have
Snopes.
I don't have your
No,
obsessions.
Trump did not call neo-Nazis and white supremacists very fine people. Bro, it's been almost 10 years and you still think he did. That's
No,
what's
I
fucked up.
didn't say I think he did. I just don't know what you're talking about because I don't
Joe
I don't
Biden.
listen to your shit.
It's not.
And there you go. So his immediate reaction is basically just to ridicule it. Like, I don't live in your bubble, you crazy conspiracy person. I don't believe this. Like, what is this? I don't watch your content. You're the only one who's picked up on this. This is obviously not the case. This was all over the news, and the idea that this guy doesn't know about this, even after he quoted, oh, Trump said there were very fine people on both sides. Of course he knows about it. He knows about this thing. He has repeated this line to other people to use as an argument, oh, Trump is a Nazi, and hoping that they don't know the context of what he actually said. And now faced with reality, with the indisputable proof, what does he do? Does he go, oh, my bad, I didn't know about that? That is deceived. If Adam was deceived into thinking this, he would naturally go, oh, shit, I was told he said it about neo-Nazis. That's what's really weird. But clearly, there's no saying it, so I guess I believe them because they're on my side. Instead, he gets defensive. That is the difference between deceived and delusional. Deception means that somebody else, an external party, tricked you into it. They deceived you. They fooled you into believing that this lie is reality. Whereas delusion is believing the lie even in the face of evidence to the contrary.
Not about listening to my shit, bro. It's reading the news. It's fact-checking. Bro, I got Snopes for you. They're not a conservative publication. Even Snopes was like, guys, stop saying this.
I don't know why you're shouting at me. I was just asking you to explain.
Because the issue we have, and I apologize, because I'm not trying to shout at you. I'm shouting in exasperation that...
And look at him there. This is the tactic. This is the deliberate artifice of ignorance. Like, I'm a babe lost in the woods. I have no idea what has happened here. I've found myself in this strange situation where you're yelling at me, and I just don't know why. Of course he does. Obviously he does. The evidence is right in front of him, and Tim is explaining it to him as he does. But Tim apologizes. Now, that doesn't ruin the clip or anything, and again, like, the clips have been generated, so the apologies after the fact almost don't matter. They don't matter. People have already seen this. It already is obvious that this guy is either lying or, well, delusional, as I said, which is the more likely one. But this is the tactic used. It is to go like, well, I'm just some innocent guy. You're being a conspiracy theorist. You're being crazy. And he applies this throughout the entire interview. Whenever Tim says something real and brings up evidence to back it up, he simply laughs as if Tim's points are all ridiculous, as if they are absurd, as if they are the ravings of some utter lunatic madman. That is the delusion.
We've had two liberals on in the past 2 weeks who didn't know this. And I'm just like, for the love of all is holy, all I do all day is I read probably 500 news articles every single day from CNN, the New York Times, MSNBC, and all their aggregates. And then liberals come on and they believe things that were debunked 8 years ago.
I didn't say I believed it. I was just asking what you were talking about.
You didn't know this.
Yeah, I don't know everything that you know.
But this is what Biden launched his campaign on. Biden made a public announcement to launch his presidency in 2020 off of this lie. And you didn't know that. 5 years later.
I don't know why you're getting on me about this, but...
I apologize. I'm not trying to get on you. It's the exasperation.
Because again, there you go. Adam knows this. He repeated the line when he believed he knew, or more correctly, pretended he knew, what it was about. Then, when proven wrong, instead of going, I didn't know that, he defends himself. He gets defensive. Why are you attacking me? Why are you doing this? Tim, you're crazy. Tim, you're overreacting. Tim, you're mad. It's ridiculous, of course. And again, this is the reason why I'm saying that Tim is the one being deceived here. Adam Conover hasn't been lied to. He hasn't been tricked into this position. He has, if anything, been manipulated and brainwashed into it over the course of, well, an indoctrination into his, in essence, cult over the course of years and years, to the point where he now has a reality that is so separate from Tim's or anyone else's that hearing the opposite, seeing the evidence of the opposite is just shaking your head laughing. Absurdity. It's like you're telling him that pigs can fly, in essence. That's the reaction he gives off, and gives off throughout the entire interview. It is very much so time, in my opinion, that we start to realize, Tim Pool and everybody else, and a lot of us already have, that yes, leftists lie. Always. Continuously and without break, because that is the world in which they live. They are delusional. They have not been deceived. They haven't been tricked. And if they have at some point been manipulated into this through the news media or whatever, the delusion is by now so fully set in that it doesn't matter. It's terminal. It is permanent. And the only way this could possibly solve that is, at this point, it is a psychological suffering. It is a genuine psychological illness. Oh, it isn't through a debate. It isn't through a discussion. It isn't through demonstrating the evidence anymore, because they will simply deny it. And therefore, claiming that they are deceived, well, it simply glosses over how bad the situation truly is, as Tim, again, and bear in mind here, this does him credit, is granting the opposition charity. He is granting them, the belief that they can change at some point, that they can recognize reality, that he is simply ignorant. Adam isn't ignorant. This is a deliberate artifice, either put on knowingly to defend his position, but I don't get that feel of him at all. I don't think he's smart enough or politically savvy enough to put on this artifice by himself intentionally. I simply think this is his indoctrination stepping in. And you can see this throughout the entire debate, where he switches positions constantly. He goes, well, you know, I don't care about narrow legalistic definitions. I don't care about, technical legality. That's all irrelevant to me. What's important is if it's truly good or not. And then in the next breath, he goes, Trump is attacking the judiciary. Surely the judiciary is sacrosanct, right? Laws, we have to have laws above all. We can't just mess with laws or ignore them. That's ridiculous. He starts the interview by going, America is now being overtaken by a fascist government. It's textbooks authoritarian fascism. And then later on in the show goes, I don't actually believe America's turning into a fascist state because Trump is too weak. And again, he also, of course, goes, no, controlling speech is the worst thing ever. The tool of tyrants, inexcusable. Free speech, I am a free speech warrior. And then Tim goes, okay, go to London, make a joke about Muhammad. And again, Adam just, what do you mean, Tim? What do you mean? There are no jokes to be made about Islam or Muhammad. I couldn't even think of one. And Tim continues to concede to make it more obvious. Okay, I'll give you $10,000. How did we get here? Okay, don't even make a joke. Just get up on stage and hold up a picture of Muhammad. And again, he continues to engage all of this as if just exacerbated, as if he has no idea what Tim is talking about, as if it's the most just barking at the moon lunacy that he's ever encountered. Because that is his delusion. That is his brain running into the barrier of reality and reverting in on itself, reverting in on the psychological illness at this point, and just rejecting it all as madness. He's talking to someone who is telling him, insistently so, that pigs can fly, even as the poor kind creatures are soaring through the heavens right in front of him. And he goes, no, that's a trick. You're lying to me somehow. You've constructed this. This isn't true. that's the progressive now. That is the modern day left. It genuinely is not an exaggeration to say that Trump probably actually did break their minds. And now we need to start to point that out. So, no. This liberal is not being deceived. This liberal is lying. He knows that he is lying, and he knows that Tim will apologize to him if he keeps lying. Because it's always worked before, it worked now, and I fear it's probably going to be the tactic employed for another good 10 years or so, until eventually we'll arrive at a point where these people will go, I have no idea how I believe this to be true, as they switch sides as easily as they breathe. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.